Hi there, and welcome back to the Little Scoop podcast. On this week's episode, we're interviewing Aislin, clinic owner and neurofeedback trainer of Prism Psychotherapy and Neurofeedback. We learn about what inspired her to open Prism, her previous career path, the procedure itself, and the benefits of neurofeedback training. Aislin also shares stories about her unrelenting entrepreneurial spirit and the support she gets from her husband to get all of this accomplished. If you want to learn more about improving your brain function and to get inspired to start either a new career path or something that you've been putting off, stay tuned. Hi, and welcome back to Little Scoop Podcast. Hello, we're here at Prism Psychotherapy and Neurofeedback. We're here with the clinic owner and neurofeedback trainer, Aislin O'Hara-Kell.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for, I was going to say having me, but also being here.
Thank you for letting us do an office takeover and completely rearrange the space. It's beautiful, and we're very thankful to be here today.
And just for everyone who is listening and viewing this, it's right off of the Picton Main Street. It's a stunning office.
Yes.
We share a hallway with Bocado. That's usually how I describe it to people, and 99.9% of people know where that is.
Let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about and how you chose to open Prism Psychotherapy and Neurofeedback.
So, we officially opened our doors in September 2025. So we've been open for about 6 months now, which has been really exciting and really scary at the same time. So all the things. But before I officially opened the doors, I probably, quote, started the business about 6 months prior. Required a lot of things to have in place, from super boring things like insurance and registering with the College of Psychotherapists of Ontario and all of those kind of things, to some of the more fun things like hiring the team of therapists that work here, going through our certifications to become certified in neurofeedback and all of those things. So I started it a little while back, and prior to this, I have been running my own consulting company for the last 8 years, and that was largely focused in accessibility. So doing kind of like working a lot with transportation, the airlines, airport sectors, to help make travel more accessible for people with different disabilities. And obviously mental health is a disability and part of that. But prior to doing that, my undergrad is in psychology, and I then a couple years ago started my master's before I got pregnant. Like everything in life, before I got pregnant, started my master's in counseling psychotherapy. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through that. I actually paused my education to start the business prior to finishing it. So I'm not even, if you talk about imposter syndrome, I'm not even a psychotherapist yet, and I own a psychotherapy clinic. So it's very intense.
No, but that's amazing. It just shows that you have so much drive and desire to grow this and have it become what you've dreamt that it could be. And you see the vision for the business, which is incredible, and you have that confidence in it. So knowing that you, just have a little extra motivation to get finished schooling and doing all the learning that you need to do, you just dipped your toe in before. It's great.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah.
And with Prism, you had your own consulting company before, so you've seen like how running a business is, but it's a different beast.
Totally. A brick and mortar business specifically, like my consulting firm, was virtual. We had a team, a very small team, very small number of employees. I sold that business to another consulting firm that I'm really happy with. And so I'm actually still doing some transition work for them, which is hard because you put on a neurofeedback hat and then I'm, talking to an airline for an hour and then back. So it's fun. But doing a brick and mortar business is really different, and it's really different in Prince Edward County than anywhere else. So there's lots of fun things that come with that, and then lots of terrifying things, and then things in between.
Tell us a little bit about those pieces.
I'm very curious.
Yeah, so when I think of running businesses in Prince Edward County, so I've lived here for 6 years, but the scary part is we also see a lot of businesses close here.
Yeah.
Surviving is not about being like trendy or or relying on tourists or things like that. I think surviving in a business here in Prince Edward County is about sustainability and really connecting with the community. We'll see, I mean, in a year's time, you can see 3 businesses open on Main Street here in Picton and 3 businesses close. And so that keeps you humble because you realize, you know, it's tough. It's tough in a lot of ways. So yeah, it does. It takes, I think people always ask me, or they'll say comments, I would love to do X, Y, Z, but I'm too scared. And I always say to them, I'm terrified. Do it scared. Do it scared. Do it scared. Yeah.
Yes. But I think on the point that you raised about, you know, building a sense of community, you're so good at that.
Oh, thank you.
First, like, because one, we just met at Wildlings, actually.
Yes, shout out to Wildlings.
Shout out to Wildlings.
I love Wildlings.
Amazing play spot. Yeah, love it. Yeah, I went there. That was my first time there, and I was like, wow, I've been sleeping on this. Yeah. This is phenomenal. It's such a big space. It's so bright. It's so clean. There's so many things for kids of different ages.
We started up a conversation and ended up being that I came here, I did neurofeedback with you. Now we're doing the podcast, and we're also going to be friends now.
Yes.
But in addition to running a business, to doing all of the consulting that you're still doing on the side, you also do women in business.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
That's how I met Leah years ago. But yeah, so when I first moved here, right, during the pandemic, like a lot of people, super hard to connect with people for many reasons. And I was like, I miss this group of professionals or women that I used to connect with in Toronto. And we try to do things on Zoom, but it's like, not the same. And so one of the people who became my first friends here were people who were like my service providers, like my dentist. I made her come paddleboarding with me. My chiropractor, Dr. Heather McDowell. I would see her like every 2 weeks. So you start up these conversations with people, your massage therapist. And so slowly over time, I just had this idea where I was like, I want to create something that is just fun, very informal, no fees, no money making, just like a complete free thing for women in business in Prince Edward County, because there's so many women business owners here. Absolutely. It's very unusual for, especially in a small town, but anywhere. So yeah, I talked to Heather and I said, because I was like, look, I have this idea, but I don't know anyone. I don't have any friends.
Sounds familiar.
Right?
Yeah.
Where she knows so many people from the practice and just from being here. And so I said, hey, do you want to join forces together? And we went for a walk on the Millennium Trail and talked about it and tried to plan this thing called Women in Business. So the idea was that we would have quarterly events. Some of them would be big where we could have a chance to dress up, like our first dinner that we did at the Drake. And then we'd have guest speakers. Like we have some phenomenal women entrepreneurs that are here that we can learn from. I was like, let's have Erin Bury from Willful, the online will company, come and speak to us. Like she took her business to Dragon's Den and grew it. It's a big company now, really successful. So yeah, and other people too. So we started the Women in Business Network. I think we've had a total of 4, maybe 5 events. Some of them are, we did a breakfast, then we try to do different days and times, so there's different,
variety.
Yeah, exactly. It's not always during bedtime or whatever, for a lot of people are moms too. But yeah, it's been fun. We both have had kids in the middle of that and had business changes and growth, so it probably hasn't been as frequent as we'd like, but it's still there. There's still, I think, a Women in Biz PEC Instagram, and we just had our last event actually just a couple months ago at County Creative, the pottery painting studio, where we did pottery painting, and I talked about neurofeedback and helped explain that to people. So yeah.
That is so cool. And also we should do that for our listeners, because I was able to experience neurofeedback. And I know we're coming from women in business, but let's go back to neurofeedback training, because it's something that is so beneficial. There's so much to be gained from doing sessions with you. Talk to us about what it does and how beneficial it is.
Totally. Yeah. Leah, do you know what neurofeedback is at all?
I know a little bit. My mom actually suffered a traumatic brain injury in 2010, and I believe part of her recovery, she did start neurofeedback. But I didn't actually get to learn much about it. I just heard how her sessions would go. So I'm excited to learn more and actually understand what it was.
Yeah, okay, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
What neurofeedback is, how I describe it to people, is that it's basically like physiotherapy for your brain.
Okay.
So it's a form of brain training. And what it is we hook you up to our machine. So there's a few little electrodes, it's nothing crazy, just a few on your ears, 2 on your temples, and the machine starts reading your brain waves. And every time your brain waves go into a suboptimal state, you get feedback through auditory skips in music. So there's like a meditation music playing, and then it'll almost sound like, I always joke because I never know exactly how old my clients are, but I'll say, did you ever have a CD in your car that got scratched and it would skip? So that's what it sounds like when you're getting the feedback, when you're getting the correction from the neurofeedback machine. Because what I always say is, a healthy brain is a flexible brain. A healthy brain is super adaptable. So say you're driving down the street, someone cuts you off, you go, oh my gosh, and your cortisol starts flooding all your stress hormones, your sympathetic nervous system turns on, you're into fight or flight. A healthy brain and a healthy nervous system, as soon as they realize that car is not going to hit you, would come right back down to normal. But what happens is life keeps us up here, life keeps us in the fight or flight, and the brain loves familiarity. So all of a sudden that becomes familiar, and our brain starts staying in that state more and more. And so what neurofeedback does, it's like pushing a reset button for your nervous system. So it's amazing for anxiety, for insomnia, for depression, ADHD, brain fog, memory, concentration, so many things. Yeah.
That's amazing. It sounds incredible. And I feel like I can't think of a single person that wouldn't benefit from doing that.
And something important too that I always say is that it's non-invasive. So there is nothing that's going into your brain. The machine is just reading your brain waves and providing you auditory feedback through corrections, through skips in the music. It's also not diagnostic, so I'm not going to hook you up to the machine, Leah, and be like, wow, your brain is really bad.
No.
There's none of that.
Right.
There's no good or bad, which is hard for people, because people also
some people like that black and white, like
they want to
definite
know
answers, and
Yes.
this is proof why I'm sad or depressed.
I want to so my goal for the practice is to also purchase a QEEG brain mapping technology that we would do at the before and after neurofeedback to see the impact of the brain. So but it's not invasive, it's FDA approved, it's a safe form. It can be used on kids 5 and up. So kids that have it's really good for PTSD, trauma. It goes through principles of neuroplasticity. So when we have a traumatic event happen, or we go through a life change like a pregnancy and a birth or anything, the brain changes structurally. And neurofeedback allows the brain to improve the structure of the neuroplasticity of the wiring of your brain in order to function at its most optimal place. So we're even seeing like CEOs, leaders, golfers, athletes wanting to do more neurofeedback because they think of it just as the same way as going to the gym or getting a chiropractic adjustment. This is what I'm doing for my brain and my mental health.
Which, like, really, there's nothing else more valuable than brain. I mean, yes, of course, your physical body too, but like brain and mental health, like if that's in check, you just, it can be life-changing.
Yeah, and I see a lot of moms, and I said to my sister actually the other day, what I hear in our practice time and time again from women, they'll sit in this chair and they'll say, I wasn't on antidepressants before I had kids. Or I never had panic attacks until I had kids. And so I talk about that and explain, the pruning that happens through pregnancy, the structural changes in the brain that make us more primed in a very important biological way to respond to danger, to respond to the baby's cries, to protect our offspring. But in today's world, we got nanit monitors, we got this, we got all the things. We don't need as much of that. And it's almost like our bodies are like 500 years behind where we are. And so we need sometimes a little support to go through that. And I think women in general tend to tough it out, and they try to tough out, anxiety, panic attacks, different things, or they feel guilty reaching out to take care of themselves, and it's really hard to do that. It is a time, everyone's so busy, and it is a time commitment, because neurofeedback, yes, you can benefit from one session, but we like to see, probably a total of 15 total treatment sessions. One treatment is 33 minutes, so it's time. It's a time commitment, but that's what we like to see in order to have lasting changes. Yeah.
Can I ask a question on that? Does the age of the patient have any effect on how many sessions they would need? For example, if a child were to come in, are their brains sort of more malleable and flexible and able to respond quicker versus someone older?
Yes. Wow. Okay.
Very cool.
When did you get your neuroscience degree? So let's talk about that. So You're absolutely right. Children's brains are a lot more, they have way more neuroplasticity because they're growing. I forget how many millions of neurons all the time. So yes, their brains adapt faster. So they tend to need fewer sessions, maybe closer to 6 or 10 sessions. But again, it depends on the symptom or benefit that we're trying to achieve. So for children with anxiety, they tend to respond pretty quick, maybe 6 sessions. With children who have more complex, say, behavioral concerns or things like that, it might take a little longer because brains are so different. But yes, they respond really well. They don't even have to sit still. Like, we set up the ability to color or play or have dinosaurs, as long as they can keep the electrodes on, which are attached with paste. Right. So as long as they're not pulling the wires off, and we make it fun, like, wow, let's look at all these rainbow colors that you're seeing on the screen, and let's do it on mom first, and do you want to see my brain, even though we're not seeing anything, you know what I mean, to a child.
Totally.
And then, as long as they're hearing that audio feedback, they can do their homework. They could do, as long as they can hear it, it's working, the treatment. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for explaining that. I love that. It's very neat.
It's very cool. Yeah. And I do, even though, yes, it is time that you're taking out of your schedule for yourself, which there's like always a little bit of like guilt that's associated with that, like being a mom, which there shouldn't be. We should be taking time for ourselves. We should be keeping ourselves healthy. But it is really nice that it is only 33 minutes.
Yes, exactly. So I'll come in, I'll make you a latte. It might taste
the best latte.
It might taste great one day and terrible the next. I'm not a good barista. But it is. It's important.
What got you initially interested in pursuing this type of career path?
Yeah, so very interesting. I've always had anxiety and done all kinds of different stuff for it through my lifetime, and it's been a really interesting journey. In 2022, I think it was about that time, I started to have nocturnal panic attacks. Okay. So and they were bad. I would wake up in the middle of the night, like totally like complete middle of the night, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I would wake up in a full panic attack. My heart rate would be like 180. Like it was like, it was very physiological. My teeth would start chattering from the flood of adrenaline. So it was very disruptive, because to then wind down from it, it would pass after 10, 15 minutes. It would come in waves. And I learned different techniques. One of the best techniques that I say is ice. So cold or ice for panic attacks are amazing. So like there's something called the diver's reflex, and this is in us, that if we fall into cold water, our heart rate automatically slows down. It resets our vagal tone, or that our central nervous system. So it starts to lower our blood pressure and reset our breathing. So even just holding ice cubes in your hands, rubbing them on the back of your neck. If you have a freezy, I would eat a freezy. In the winter, I would open my back door and just like let the cold air hit my face. So those are just little tips. But mostly I tried everything. So I went on medication. I went back into therapy. I did daily medication. I did panic attack only type medications. I did yoga. I saw a functional medicine doctor. I did everything, all the things, and nothing would work. And so in my research, I'm a big researcher, big on research. So Katie's like, we know one another. We recognize each other in the wild. Yeah. And so I was researching, and these are the days before ChatGPT and all of that, which is easier to find now. But I came across neurofeedback, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And I researched it and I was like, wow, I think this really could work for me, because it was something in my subconscious that was triggering the panic, because during the day I was fine. I was fine. Maybe I was tired from being up, but I was fine. So I looked around at, living in the county. I looked, where can I find this service? There was one place in Belleville. I think they did a different type. It wasn't what I was looking for. There was nothing. And then I kept looking into it, and I found that you could rent a machine for $3,000 a month, because the machines themselves are like 20 grand. So you could rent it for $3,000. And I said to my husband, I came across this is what it says, it's like $3,000, I don't know. And he was like, do it.
Aww.
Order it, do it. You have to try this. Like, I think it might work for you. So I did. I ordered it. I went through the whole thing. I started doing it. I was amazed. At first, I thought it was a placebo kind of effect. After like 5 sessions, my panic attacks were still happening, but they weren't as emotionally intense. I was distant from them a little. And then they stopped altogether.
Wild.
And then I started being less annoyed at my husband.
Oh
my God, right? I was like, weird, this is not annoying me right now. I'm not sure what's going on. And then just other things in life that would normally, someone says a certain thing or a certain topic that can be a trigger. And it would just kind of be like water off a duck's back for me. Like, I was like, wow, it really, because what it does is it builds up your tolerance to handle stress and life stressors, and just gives you that full bucket so that you can like ride the waves of life a little bit better. So yeah, that's how I discovered it. And I thought then back in 2022, I'm like, I need to bring this to people. I wouldn't shut up about telling everyone. Like, my friends and family are like, I do not want to hear any more about neurofeedback. But I wouldn't shut up about it. And I thought, I got to do this. I got to bring this to my community. And then fast forward like 3-4 years later, here we are.
That is so incredible.
Can I ask a little bit about how you built your team too?
Yes, of course. Absolutely. So finding a team. So we also offer psychotherapy. And a lot of people will say, what is psychotherapy? Because they know what therapy is, but then they're like, what is psychotherapy? Is that for really crazy people? Like,
I've been in it. I've been in it for 5 years, so maybe.
So probably no. Yeah, so it is. It's a form of talk therapy. It's similar to counseling. It has probably a little bit more structure and a little bit more, it follows more of a specific treatment plan. It's delivered by a registered psychotherapist or a master's of social work. So I thought, okay, I got to find a team of people that serve different populations. So I posted the jobs. It was really hard to find because a lot of people don't live close enough. They wanted to do virtual only. It was really important for me to have, of course, we have a virtual therapy option, but I really wanted to have in-person therapy for people where they could come, be in a different space. Their kids aren't screaming outside the door. They're not seeing emails pop up on their computer while they're doing the conversation. So it was really kind of kismet how we found our 3 therapists. And I put them all through a 6-step hiring model. So I'm pretty specific on that.
I love this.
Yes, this makes me so happy. As a fellow business owner, I'm like, so satisfying. I need all the details.
Yeah, because I think it's
so good.
Hiring a team is like dating, right? It's like, whoop, now we're back in this world. Yeah. We're dating. It's a relationship. It's like a marriage. It's like you want to try to make sure that it's a fit on some really important things. So I use things like a personality test. So it was really cool, and I'm really fortunate for the team that we have because they took a chance on me. I'm a completely new business owner. I'm not even a psychotherapist myself, and yet they're willing to join the team, and it's been really incredible.
Very cool.
But even with how did you come up with such a rigorous screening? Like, is that just from research that you've done, or was that from the accessibility work that you did before?
A bit of both, but mostly where I followed this method is from my business coach. When I was in my consulting business, it was so lonely island. Like I was on a lonely, isolated island trying to solve all these business problems, and it was so hard, and you feel like no one gets it. So I decided with this business, I knew I needed to spend the money. And part of that was investing in a business coach. Her name is Nicole McCants. She specializes in psychotherapy businesses, but her stuff can be applied to anything almost. And so she teaches the 6-step hiring model through that. So yeah, she guided me through that, and she offers group coaching and individual stuff. So you get to connect with other people, similar to what you guys are doing through your podcast, where you're learning all this stuff from people in the same neighborhood, right? With something similar that they're doing. Yeah.
I think we'll talk a little bit about coming to the county. How is your...
I was going to say, it sounded like it was because of hubby, but you can share that story.
Yes, absolutely. I was born in the GTA, Brampton. Shout out to Brampton. Like everyone from Brampton, I lived in Toronto as well for a little bit. I was living there when I met my husband. We met through my sister's husband. Bizarre. They had been dating for like 5 years, and somehow me and my now husband Mason had never met. I was like, oh, we'll see. Like, it's the pandemic. I don't know. Like we
casual.
Yeah, exactly. Then I decided to move here, and then we got married. So yeah,
amazing.
So cute.
Yes.
And really cute.
You guys got married here. He is working here in the county as well. His family is from here?
Yes.
Okay.
He's from like Foxborough, but it's just north of the county. So yeah, his family's here. My family's all far away. I say far away. They're like 2 hours away, but it feels far because, you don't
see them weekly or daily. It's like you plan it for the big events and stuff like that.
And you also have a little one too.
Yes. Yeah. My daughter is like 20 months old, just over a year and a half. So yeah, I find when you have kids, my sister has kids the same age. I want to hang out with them more.
But she's also like you have a 20-month-old, you started a business.
Yeah.
And your husband is working full-time.
I mean, we're lucky. We have tons of family help in general, and really the only way I was able to do all of this was because of my husband. So because Mason was able to, we have completely untraditional roles. So like I'm out building the business, he's at home doing the laundry, taking care of our daughter, taking her to story time, taking her to swimming. He's totally given up what he loves to do. So like he worked in the hospitality industry as a bartender. So he really was the one that I've leaned on in order to do this. So I always describe it as our business. This is, it's something we're building together, even though we're in different places,
It's like so nice. I love that idea. But let me also just be aggressive for a second.
Sure.
Men wouldn't say that, I don't think.
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
You're right.
I look at him like...
I do think that
so
women
true.
tend to
You're
be
right.
like, oh, it's ours because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And like
Totally.
there is something to be said about being super nice and generous about your love and your appreciation for your spouse, but also it's like, it's your business.
Yeah, like I definitely have like a crazy drive. So it's more about like Mason is cool to support that.
I'm very impressive that this drive that you have in you. Do you think that you were inspired by someone? Is it just something that you were born with?
I'm looking for this list because I made a list of all the businesses I've ever had, which is really fun.
Stop!
Okay, it's really fun because most of them are, just really hilarious. Okay, so in high school, my name's Aislin, but a lot of people would call me Ashling, like L-I-N-G. So my first business was called Bling by Ling, and I used to take Motorola Razrs, and I would put Swarovski crystals on them for everyone in my high school.
That would have been my dream phone
right
there. Like I wanted one so bad, the hot pink.
Yes, the hot pink. And then I would burn my fingers on this little glue gun trying to put the things. And then I would sell it for cash. And I, at the time, tried to make a website, but in high school, oh my God, that was a million years ago. It was impossible. Then I did like a makeup artistry business where in the summers we just did bridal makeup. It was called Kiss and Makeup with one of my friends.
That's so cute. I love that.
She went on to be like a professional makeup artist, like huge, big time. I was like, these people are bridezillas. I'm done. Then I did Artistry by Aislin, where I did paintings, and I did like ballet tutu paintings, a lot of it, and we would go to dance competitions and sell them. And my sister was always with me for like all these businesses, and she would be like my little salesperson. It was so fun. She's like 5 years younger than me, and then I became a yoga teacher. Then I did consulting. So anyways, all that to say is I just love business. I love entrepreneurial stuff. It's not about like the money and the success. It's just like the fun for me. And through all of those businesses failed. All of those businesses failed, and that's where I am today from all of those learnings. So don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to fail.
I love that messaging. I feel like I'd hire you as my business coach.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Oh, my gosh.
Next business coaching.
Okay, right.
That's Aislin.
My husband's like, no more businesses.
But seriously,
thanks.
So good.
That's very, very impressive.
Thanks.
And just
That's so cool.
how you're, like you said, you were a little risk averse in your consulting company.
Yeah.
But like you're clearly not a risk averse person.
No, definitely not.
So
you gotta
crazy.
just do it scared. You just have to kind of tolerate that discomfort, the imposter syndrome. It's all normal. There are days where you just want to like crawl into your bed because there's just so many problems that you have to be a problem solver, right? You are a professional problem solver when you're running a business, and there is a problem every day. So you just have to be able to tolerate that and be excited by it some days and be, annoyed by it others, but let it all balance out. And I think having this community and having conversations with people and sharing your story and pausing for a moment to say, oh yeah, I did do all this. Yeah, it's cool. It's important.
Aside from your family and running a business, which we know both you love very much, what do you do for fun? What keeps you going on these hard days?
Fun. Oh my gosh, what's that? No, I'm answering that not as a business owner, as a mom, right? You're like, fun. Oh my gosh, a quiet shower for 10 minutes? A shower alone?
Yes. Grocery store trip?
Yes. Oh my God, having a hot coffee while you walk through Winners alone? Like
heaven.
Dream.
No, so I'm a huge reader. I love reading. Binging terrible TV. I love that. What else is for fun? Honestly, just hanging out with other women and just getting to like laugh and connect and people and friendships. And yeah, I think those are my best things. Yeah.
I love it.
Just simple. Yeah,
So
simple.
If you were to shout out one other local business that you love or just want to shout out to them, who would it be?
So I would definitely shout out the Love Loft in Bloomfield. The owners, Jade and Janet, are just incredible humans. And they've created a space that is so healing and like magical. Like people will walk into their shop. It features Janet's encaustic artwork, and then it's all women makers from across Canada that do specific lines just for them. Yeah, and like people come in and they just feel compelled to share their life stories in this place. It's so cool. And they also offer these healing experiences. You guys should do this together as a business, as business partners and friends.
Thank you for shouting them out though. They are amazing women, and they will always have a special place in my heart. They have come to the rescue for Slickers and helped us out many times.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, they do that. They provide that. They're the kind of people who, like for me too, in running a business, they're the kind of people who will pick you up like on days when you can't carry it anymore. They're the kind of people who will hold your vision and believe in your vision on the days when you don't. Like that kind of thing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I think that wraps
This was
up.
so fun, guys. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Please come visit here at Prism Psychotherapy and Neurofeedback. It's an awesome experience, and just meeting Aislin is like, a gift in itself.
Oh, wow. Geez. Okay. Thanks so much.
And thank you again for letting us take over your space for the day.
Anytime.
We're so excited to record here and enjoy the space.
Anytime, guys. I love it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.